Met a really great guy on Bumble. Hey everyone, welcome back to Childfree for Life. Don't forget to subscribe to be a for-lifer. Our first date was amazing. We shut the place down. Our second date came a week later and we shared a bottle of wine while the conversation flowed. We discussed our lives and careers and hobbies, and then he mentioned how as he gets older, he has realized baby fever is a real thing. Pump the brakes. What? It literally says child-free and don't want kids in my profile. Did he just not read this part? We had a pretty detailed conversation about how I don't want children. And then he chooses this point in time to say, well then, is it a problem if I told you I have a child? What the actual I just stared at him like he sprouted a second head. He was surprised at my surprise and said, pretty sure I mentioned this before. Excuse me, sir. No, the heck you did not. He asked me if it was really that big of a deal, and I said, for perspective, I swipe left on all single dads. If someone was looking for a partner because they really wanted children, and I played the charade and then later dropped the bomb on them that sorry, I actually don't want children, that would be super crappy. So why do some people not see that it's equally crappy in the reverse? I could not possibly make it more clear on my profile that I don't want children. So wait, he already has kids and is having baby fever? So like, he wants to have another potential baby mama? Red flag. His daughter is a product of a drunken one-night stand with a high school friend. Sounds like they co-parent very well, but never had any formal romantic relationship and didn't try for one when she got pregnant. They're just two independent people who happened to make a baby. I asked him if he was actively seeking to have another child. He said it's not something he's necessarily pushing for, but if he got a girlfriend pregnant, he wouldn't be upset about it. Oof, to each their own. This is not my cup of tea. I want to know how things went after you revealed your stance to him. He looked disappointed and concerned I was going to call the date off then and there, but I didn't, so he probably thinks I'll make an exception or something. Plan to tell him it's not going to work out later today. Ah, dang, good luck. I had one guy I super clicked with. Dates went well, we communicated so well. He had no kids or didn't want kids on his profile, as did I. Out of nowhere, he mentions, later on down the line when I have kids, I want them baptized. And it was like I heard breaks. I checked his stuff again. Child-free. So I mentioned I didn't want them and brought up the profile stuff. He said he hasn't updated it in a while. He said he had to think more about it. I was thinking, please do, because it's not something I'll budge on. He dumped me gently, no problem, but gave me this great offer to be his friends with benefits until he found someone to have kids with. LOL. Nope. This was in July. He's been messaging me almost every other week trying to talk to me, saying he messed up, he misses me, he changed his mind, no kids, etc. Not the first, probably won't be the last. Ugh. A lot of the women I've dated who, oh by the way, I have kids, me, spend way too much time on dating and not enough on their kids. I hooked up with a lady in my condo complex, not a good decision, not gonna lie, a few years ago, and her son and I became friends. I don't actually mind kids, I just don't want them due to being forced to basically raise my siblings. After we broke things off, I stayed friends with her and we hung out occasionally. When she has a dude over, she has tried to just send her visibly embarrassed son over to my condo a bunch of times until I put my foot down about that. He and I share some interests, so I had given him some of my old books as well as my old laptop for gaming or school. I went by to drop something off, and her son was just sitting out there in the hall with the laptop and a book, I guess until the guy left? I don't know. This happens every time she dates someone new until she feels like telling them, oh, you know that kid in the hallway? He's mine. And when I asked her, she frames it like she's doing this to protect her kid. Pretty sad. I had a guy do that. We went on 3 dates. It was great. And on our 4th one, we were going to the park to have a picnic. He pulled up with a 6-month-old infant in the back seat. I said, did you bring your niece or nephew? And he said, no, I told you I had a kid. I said no. I was pretty clear I didn't like or want kids, and this would have been a deal breaker. He said, oh, it'll be fine. You will be so good with him. I grabbed the picnic basket out of the back and walked back into my house. He tried to contact me for the next 4 freaking months. I blocked him on everything. I've heard from several different child-free women that it's better to not put anything about children on your profile, and when you meet a guy, instead of telling them what you're looking for, you simply ask him what he thinks about having children, and then he won't be able to lie to you because he doesn't know what you want him to say. And they've avoided these type of situations by not giving the guy the answer to the question before they ask the question. It sucks that they have to do that, but maybe that's a strategy that can work for you. I hate this crap, but I can't really say I'm surprised it happens. Society loves to act like women can't possibly know what they want, especially if you're a man and you don't agree with what they want. Kids get raised in this crap. I can't count how many times I've heard parents or teachers telling boys that girls don't really mean it when they say something. They'll come around and realize you're right if you just keep pushing. He's bullying me, miss. He probably just likes you. He's just playing. It's fine. You'll come around to his attention. Mom, Dad, I'm never having kids. Nonsense, you're young and don't know what you want. You'll get it when you're older. Ignore her, younger brother and sister. She doesn't know what she's saying. At least you found out early on. Not in the best way though. Dude should have been upfront right off the bat. When I was 17, I was dating a guy who, let's just say, had a few years on me. We were maybe 3 months into a relationship and he finally confessed he had a daughter. I was adamantly child-free, even at that age. But I also didn't want to shout it from the rooftops because who the heck would care? That should have been my cue to leave on top of all the other red flags I won't get into. I figured in the 3 months we've been together, I had zero clue. Maybe that means she'll never be around and I won't have to deal with her. Yeah, she started being around a whole lot more after that, and I was stuck taking care of her while he went and did way more shady crap. I think it was the only time in my life that I felt any sort of maternal instinct for a child, and it was only because I flat out felt bad for her. I should have called CPS on him or his addict ex-wife when I dumped him, but I didn't want anything more to do with that family, so I just bailed. My very first relationship was wild. Because those same people want this, it's only wrong when others don't respect their boundaries. They can trample willy-nilly all over everyone else's. Because what they want is understandable in their minds. It's a lack of empathy. Pick pretty much any bingo answer you want, and this is something they presume about you. Alternatively, they genuinely believe that while you might not have ever wanted children in any scenario prior, they are magically the ones that you'd be willing to change your life, goals, and possibly morals for. I had a similar encounter about a decade ago. A friend who had 2 kids started suggesting we date. I made it really clear that I was okay with something casual to get our mutual itch scratched, but I wasn't into the idea of playing family man, nor could I see a scenario where I wanted to. It was all fine until the first night I stayed over. I'd known her for years, so the kids and I had met before. The next morning, it was like, oh, do you want to go to the park with me and the kids? Oh, do you think maybe you can help my son with his homework? No, I definitely can't. The real irony being that if we'd remained only friends, if she'd asked me to help her kid with this English or history homework, I would have. My issue was that this was quickly being set up to be an obligation, as opposed to me doing a friend a favor. People who want kids or who have kids literally cannot picture a scenario where their partner or object of desire does not value current or future children to the same degree, even when it's explicitly stated. Gross. A year ago, I was essentially firing up a relationship from a guy I met on Bumble. We had been going on dates and hanging out for 2 to 3 months. One day, we were sitting there talking about how I have the perfect spot for a hot tub one day, and he told me my young nephews would love that. I said they wouldn't be allowed in because I've seen how they behave in the hot tub. Also, kid pee. And he's like, you really don't like kids, do you? Then it turned into, do you want kids one day? My profile made it very, very clear I was not interested in children specifically to avoid this crap, which led to us having that conversation needlessly. And he said he wasn't really sure and had always pictured having kids. I gave him some time to figure things out, then I pulled the plug when I couldn't take it seriously anymore. Like, why aren't people reading profiles or taking them seriously?